British duelists, and welcome to another video. So this is deck report week number 18 of season 5, and I have two profiles this week. The first one, which is the one you're seeing on the screen, is something completely experimental. The next one is going to be an update to Draco Tail, because I am going to a double cage tourney this weekend, and so far I've been loving the build, but I kind of want to go through that event first and then give my final consensus. So for today's video, we're looking at Thunder Dragon. So for those who don't know, Thunder Dragons was a very old classic archetype from the Duel Monsters eras that got revamped in 2019 with the set, I think it was called Soul Fusion. And in that set, we got a new array of Thunder Dragon cards. These cards were really strong back then. The format with these cards lasted an entire year. Up until 2020 when they decided to gut Colossus. So Thunder Dragon Colossus is back at 3, and the card hasn't done anything since it came back. Some people have experimented with Thunder Dragons, like with other builds. Some people played it with Bestials. Some people played it with Nemesis cards. Some people just played like a turbo version with other variations. Some people play Chaos Space with like Levianeer, which is now limited. This card got limited in 2023, back before Colossus returned. So what we're looking at now is a new evolution for Thunder Dragons, and that is with the K9 cards. So what made me get to this conclusion in the first place? Well, both Thunder Dragon and Thunder Dragon Dark are level 5. And at first I thought, there's no way just playing level 5 monsters in a deck can make the K9 engine like bolster some strategy into it, right? Well, I thought about that at first, and then I realized, wait, these Thunder Dragon cards can actually do some damage under the right hands or under the right build. So what you're looking at this screen at the moment is just that K9 combo that I just came up on the spot. And in this combo, we're ending on double Colossus, and we're ending on Ripper and Force Release. At first, this board doesn't look that menacing, but if you truly think about it, you have Izuna to disrupt your opponent if your opponent decides to use hand traps or graveyard effects. You have Ripper that can also negate those, and not only that, like she can turn into Werewolf because of Force Release. And then you have Colossus, which to this day, this card actually beats a lot of meta contending decks. Like Ryziel, Yummy, Crystron K9 deck, Vanquish Soul, all those decks have a hard time versus Colossus. Now, that surely can't be it, right? There's no other way to make the strategy even stronger, right? Well, the more I dwelled into this deck, the more strategies that I just kept arising to me, and the more cool combos that I found with just little to no like deck consensus that I have to make. So I'm gonna pause it right here. You're seeing that I play with Fiendsmith cards. There's extra synergy in this deck because Necroquip Princess can draw out of your Thunder Dragons activating. So I'm now activating Thunder Dragon. Thunder Dragon now goes to a graveyard. We grab more Thunder Dragons, and now Necroquip is going to draw us an extra card. And all of a sudden, we have way more cards than we have in our setup. We're now going to do Engraver. And Engraver is really cool here because this gives us like insulation from hand traps. This pauses K9 cards. This pauses Nibiru. This pauses like 5 mana if you're facing against Draco Tail. Like, just the Fiendsmith engine already works really well in this deck. And if you look at my deck, or at least the deck list that I'm showing, the only Fiendsmith card is one Engraver. We're not playing Lacrima, we're not playing Tract, we're not playing Lurie. So there are no real bricks for this engine. And I think in the future, probably once this card arises in the OCG, the OCG will probably adapt to this engine in the same similar fashion. Now let's keep going with the combo. So now we're going to Lantern for Joko. Lantern is going to add us first release. This is going to make Ripper. We're now going to make Colossus, and we end on release. So a little different from this combo. Instead of double Colossus, we ended on the DDD Wave Kaioken Caesar. But take note, this combo can just go even further depending on what other extenders and depending if your opponent played into Izuna. So let's look at other stuff that we can do with the Thunder Dragon cards. If you look at the build right now, you're probably noticing there are no real normal summons in the deck outside of the K9 cards. The way I look at it is this deck is so consistent at getting to its engine that you should be able to perform those combos very easily. This is pretty similar to the K9 Crystron deck. The ceiling is a little bit slightly lower than the Crystron K9 deck. However, the payoff of just making Colossus and just having a grind game with these cards is really significant. Like, if your opponent tries to get rid of the Colossus, you can just banish Thunder Dragon Dark. Thunder Dragon Dark can add us Thunder Dragon Fusion. And this is an infinite loop for our Thunder Dragon engine. And with Colossus just being a very powerful floodgate, the Thunder Dragon engine just works really well at securing grind games with all the other decks. Now, if you look at the extra deck, Chaos Angel just makes a lot of sense. Like, not only because of the Fiendsmith cards, but you have Thunder Dragons and you have the K9s. You can make Chaos Angel with these cards. You can even make Chaos Angel with just Joko and Lantern, for example. Here in the rank 5s I wanted to play, you could play the Nationite package if you want. Nationite package works with chaotic elements, so that is one option you could make. I opted for these 5 because, like, Ripper is no-brainer. Valon is just a really good generic one. And then you have Princess Conqueror. Princess Conqueror is really interesting in this deck because she can bring back your Thunder Dragons. And with Princess Conqueror, you can turn these Thunder Dragon monsters into Colossus. She's also a Dark Attribute monster, which could come up if you play, like, the Chaos cards. We'll talk about these later. And then you have all of these. Lizardos was an experiment if I opted to play Batteryman Solar. Lizardos can banish Thunder Dragon Dark because it does have below 2000 attack. So, yeah. This is pretty much like one of the ideal engines that you could play for this deck. You have IP, you have SP, like, you have other avenues you can do for your Thunder Dragon cards. I didn't opt to play the other Thunder Dragons. I mainly played the Thunder Dragon, the OG, alongside the, I maxed out on these two because they're both level 5s. I maxed out on Roar because Roar can just recur back your Thunder Dragon cards. And this creates an infinite loop with Thunder Dragon Fusion. I need to explain Gold Sarcophagus. This card is pretty much obvious why this card is in here. Maxing out on Thunder Dragon Hawk. Thunder Dragon Duo is an interesting one because this becomes a 3100 beater that you can just bring back with Thunder Dragon Hawk after the initial summon. And this can just beat over your opponent's cards. This can recur you back more Thunder Dragons. This can banish Thunder Dragons from your graveyard to enable their effects. Pretty cool one. Now let's look at the other options. You have a Lord of Darkness, which you can play in this deck if you want. I just opted to just stick with 40 because I am in the experimental phase. I just chose like Ash, Fua, Droplets, like just to give you some examples. I maxed out on Case of K9. This is very different from the Thunder Dragon, from the Crystron deck. You kind of want to see your K9 cards. You're not afraid of drawing Lovebird because if they draw you, they just play right into Izuna, which just becomes 3 more bodies. Especially if you just go directly through the Fiendsmith engine. So Allure is an option. You could play Bestials in this deck. Bestials is known to already be good with Thunder Dragons, but the reason I didn't opt for Bestials, and the same reason I didn't opt for the Nemesis, is because of the popularity behind Artifact Lancia. If Artifact Lancia was not in the format, I would have played Bestials, I would have played Nemesis cards. Heck, I would probably even would have played it as a 60 card pile with Tearlament cards and like with Lysor monsters. I probably would have done a lot more to this deck than what you're just seeing with K9s. But since Lancia is in the format, you kind of have to respect this card, which means like playing it safe with your K9 cards is like the way to go. You have Kaminari Attack, which you can combine with Ready Fusion. Kaminari Attack enables your engine by making Dragon Titan, but more so, this is level 5, so you can make Ripper with this, you can make Conqueror with this, you can make Valon with this. So this is another engine to consider. If you play Thunder Dragon Matrix and Batteryman Solar, Cross Chip is another good one. Cross Chip gives you access to double Colossus by itself, especially if you pair it with like Nemesis Corridor, for example. I've already done this combo in Ritual Beasts in the past. Yeah, this is basically the deck. This is basically the dynamic behind it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. A friend of mine asked for Chaotic Elements. I opened my binder and then I saw Thunder Dragon Dark in my card binder, and that's how I came up with the concept for this. If you are a known Thunder Dragon player, feel free to comment down below. Tell me changes you would make to the deck. Tell me if this is a good idea for like a foreseeable future. Like, I could see a deck like this doing well in a local event or like in a future event if it's like better tweaked. Because the synergy with K9 is immaculate, and I think Colossus is still a really powerful card to this day. And worst thing comes to worst, you still have the Fiendsmith engine. Alright, so that's it from me. I hope you found this informative to your liking and understanding. More videos coming soon. Keep practicing and keep dueling.